You don't get to hear about like old stories every day.
This one is made of ceramic, it's pottery.
It's just so much fun, and you really get to get closer with people because you're like out in the wilderness, sleeping in tents, and then you're learning together. So I think it's a really cool environment to like get together with people and learn things as a group.
Yesterday at Colonial Williamsburg, we got to play in clay, and we were mashing it down, and it was to be used for the reconstruction of things that were used in history. So people can't obviously touch 350-year-old things, but now we use models to represent those so everybody knows what it was like, and it's basically exact replicas, but not everybody's touching them and has a chance to break them. So we were mashing down the clay for the clay to be made into stone or brick.
Not only did it show us really how people did make bricks, but it was a lot of fun.
I had like a totally different view of what it was like. It's almost indescribable. It's almost like everything was kind of two-dimensional and that the people weren't real, like you're reading like a story rather than like you're reading about people's lives. So when you actually go to these places that people have been, it makes it a lot easier for you to understand the things they were doing, the things that they saw. Because if you haven't like gone to these places before, it's always been harder for me to believe that they really happened. Or like I might have believed it, but it doesn't like set in like when you actually see it and you see like where history was made.
We were on the Chesapeake Bay beach, and we were cleaning up the litter and everything that people have thrown on there. And it's like, when you think about it and you look around, it's almost like it's unfair to the environment because there's a lot of historic, I guess, quality in that place that people don't even think of when they just decide to toss a beer bottle out of a window or throw a cigarette butt down. Because you could be throwing that beer bottle on something historic and you might not even know it.
We got to fix up the beach to make it look nicer. We picked up a lot of random objects like a hose, a rope, a Christmas tree light, and a lot of stuff that you would really never expect. And it taught us a lot about how much it messes up the Chesapeake Bay.
It's a very expanded way of learning, I guess. there's not just one thing. Like, you're not just sitting there for an hour learning about math. You're sitting there for 3 hours learning about so many different things in history. It's not just reading out of a history book. It's being there and learning about it and having that experience of actually being where people have walked in history.
Might be attached to something, and it's quite brittle because it's been in the ground for so long.
I would definitely recommend this program for anybody that's interested basically in anything, because I didn't like history before I came here. But once you get into it and you actually start to see the things that happened and you learn more about the history of African Americans and Native Americans and the English and how they all work together to, I guess, trade and everything like that, it just kind of sends a spark to your brain, I guess, and it just lights off a light bulb. When I got here and we started going to Jamestown or Colonial Williamsburg or everything, and you just learned about all those different things, it just makes you want to become an expert in history.